I was in the bar drinking a martini when a man collapsed. Then the waitress screamed, "Does anyone know CPR?" I yelled, "I know the entire alphabet." And we all laughed and laughed, well, except for one person.
A man walks into a pub and says, "Look at that dog over there licking his bollocks. I wish I could do that." And the landlord says, "Give him a biscuit and he might let you."
A guy walks into a bar and asks for a beer. "That'll be $5, says the bartender, and the guy throws a bunch of coins onto the floor. Reluctantly, the bartender picks up the coins and serves him the beer. The next day, the same guy comes into the bar, asks for a beer, and throws a bunch of coins onto the floor. The next day, he does the same. On the fourth day, he asks for a beer and hands the bartender a $10 note. The bartender takes advantage of his chance for revenge and throws a bunch of coins onto the floor. He yells, 'Here's your change!' The guy looks down at the coins and says, 'I'll have another beer, please.'"
Two whales are sitting at a bar, and one goes, "Wee, wee, wee." The other goes, "Go home, Frank. You're drunk."
A guy walks into a bar, notices a very large jar on the counter, and sees that it's filled to the brim with $10 bills. He guesses there must be thousands of dollars in it. He approaches the bartender and asks, "What's up with the jar?"
Well, you pay $10, and if you pass 3 tests, you get all the money.
The man certainly isn't going to pass this up. What are the 3 tests?
Pay first. Those are the rules, says the bartender. So the man gives him the $10 and the bartender drops it into the jar. Okay, the bartender says, here's what you need to do. First, you have to drink an entire gallon of pepper tequila, the whole thing, all at once, and you can't make a face while doing it. Second, there is a pit bull chained up out back with a sore tooth. You have to remove the tooth with your bare hands. Third, there's a 90-year-old woman upstairs who has never reached orgasm during intercourse. You've got to make things right for her.
The man is stunned. I know I paid my $10, but I'm not an idiot. I won't do it. You have to be nuts to drink a gallon of pepper tequila and then do those other things.
Your call, says the bartender, but your money stays where it is.
As time goes on, the man has a few drinks, then a few more, and he asks, "Where's that tequila?" He grabs the gallon with both hands and downs it with a few big slurps. Tears are streaming down both cheeks, but he doesn't make a face. Next, he staggers out back where the pit bull is chained up, and soon the people inside the bar hear a huge, noisy scuffle going on outside. They hear the pit bull barking, the guy screaming, the pit bull yelping, and then silence. Just when they think the man surely must be dead, he staggers back into the bar with his shirt ripped and large bloody scratches all over his body. "Now," he says, "where's the old woman with the sore tooth?"
A white horse walks into a bar. The barman says, "There's a whiskey named after you." The horse replies, "A whiskey named Eric? How about that?"
A man is at the bar after work on his birthday, and he finally says to his buddies, "All right, I have to go home to my wife now." So he goes home, and his wife is lying naked on his bed with handcuffs. The wife says to him, "Chain me up and do whatever you want." So he handcuffs her to the bed and goes back to the bar with his buddies.
A guy sits down at a bar and starts talking to the bartender. He tells the bartender that he's a consultant.
What's that? The bartender asks.
"I use logical thinking to help people make good decisions for their businesses."
What do you mean by logical thinking?
"Well, I'll show you. Do you own a dog?"
I do, replies the bartender.
"If you own a dog, then you're probably good at taking care of others and are probably good with kids," the consultant says.
I love kids. Have 3 of my own.
"Well, if you have kids, then it's very possible that you're a straight man with a wife."
Wow, I do have a wife, and you guessed all that because I said I have a dog. Amazing.
The man leaves and Tommy, a regular at the bar, shows up and sits down. The bartender asks him,
Hey Tommy, some guy was just in here and showed me what logical thinking is. Want to see?
"Sure, why not?"
Great, says the bartender. Do you have a dog?
"Nope."
You're gay.
A man is drinking at a bar when he notices it's getting pretty late. His wife works a late shift and hates it when he goes to the bar. So he decides to head home now before she gets back and finds out. He gets out of his chair to walk home but collapses to the ground. He tries to get up again but collapses once more. Wow, he thinks. I guess I had a lot more than I thought. Thank God it's just down the street. So the man slowly crawls all the way home and manages to get himself in bed and the lights off before drifting to sleep. He wakes as the lights turn on and sees his wife glaring at him. You went to the bar, did you? What do you mean? I was just sleeping. Honest. The bartender called, she says. You forgot your wheelchair.
A big, burly, biker-looking dude enters a bar, walks up to the middle of the bar, and orders a shot of whiskey. He lifts it up, looks to his right, and says, "Everyone on my right is a sucker." He downs the shot, and nobody says anything. He orders another shot, looks to his left, and says, "Everyone on my left is a motherfucker." Just as he raises the shot to drink it, he notices a little guy on his left walking towards him. "You got a problem with that?" The little guy says meekly, "No, I'm just on the wrong side."
A horse walks into a bar. The bartender asks, "Why the long face?"
The horse replies, "Because I'm an alcoholic and it's destroying my family."
A guy runs into a bar in panic. Does anybody here own a 6-foot penguin? He asks.
Everybody shakes their heads no.
Well, shit, says the guy. I think I just ran over a nun.
That is one tall nun.
Not anymore.
A woman at the bar orders a scotch on the rocks. The bartender throws ice in the glass, pours the drink, and sets it in front of her.
She says, "Hey, you touched the ice with your hands. It's dirty."
He replies, "Lady, my hands are in water all day. They're clean."
She says, "I don't care. I want you to use the ice tongs."
Rolling his eyes, he makes her a new drink using the ice tongs, and she's happy.
After a few drinks, she says to the bartender, "Hey, what is that string attached to the zipper on your pants?"
He replies, "You know how we were talking earlier about clean hands? Well, I use that string to unzip when I have to go to the bathroom so I don't have to touch the zipper."
She ponders that for a while, then asks, But how do you get it out of your pants?"
"Oh," he says nonchalantly, "I use the ice tongs." A guy walks into a bar and orders 5 shots. Bartender says, "Geez, you look like you just got some bad news." Guy says, "Yeah, I just found out my dad's gay and he's leaving my mom." So the guy downs the 5 shots and drinks the rest of the night. The next day he comes back and orders 5 shots again. Bartender says, "What happened now?" Guy says, "Just found out my brother's gay and he's leaving his wife." So the guy downs the 5 shots again and drinks until closing time. The next day he comes back again and orders 5 more shots. Bartender says, "Jesus, doesn't anybody in your family like women?" The guy says, "Yeah, my wife."
3 mice are sitting at a bar with a bottle of tequila, talking about how tough they are. One pours a shot while saying, "When I see rat poison, I cut it up and snort it. I like the buzz," and downs the shot. The second grabs the bottle and pours, "When I see a mouse trap, I grab the cheese, bench press the track 50 times, then go have a snack," downs the shot. Third mouse pours a shot, takes it, and pushes away from the table. "Where are you going?" the other mice ask. "This is lame. I'm going home to fuck the cat."
A horse walks into a bar. The shocked bartender points a finger his way in alarm and yells, "Hey!" The horse says, "You read my mind, buddy."
A guy walks into a bar owned by Eminem. He tells the bartender, "Give me 2 shots of..." The bartender cuts him off saying, "You only get 1 shot. Opportunity only comes once in a lifetime, you know."
A guy staggers home from drinking at the bar with his work buddies. The next morning, he wakes up in his bed to find that his clothes have been changed and washed, and that breakfast is waiting for him on the bedside table, accompanied by a note from his wife.
"Hi, honey. I'm out shopping for coffee tables. Enjoy your breakfast. Love you." Upon leaving the bedroom, he finds that his house is spotless clean, though the coffee table is in fact missing. He finds his son sitting at the breakfast table and asks him,
"What's going on? Why is the house so clean?" The son replies, "Well, last night you stumbled in blind drunk. You tripped and broke the coffee table, then promptly threw up on yourself. Mom dragged you into bed, but as she was trying to change your vomit-covered clothes, you grabbed her and said, 'Get your hands off me, bitch. I'm married.'" 2 guys are out walking their dogs on a hot day and they pass by a bar. One says to the other, "I could really go for a drink." And the other guy says, "Yeah, but we have the dogs." The first guy says, "No problem. Let's just say they are seeing eye dogs." So they decide to take turns walking in as to not raise a suspicion. The first guy walks in, and the bartender says, "Sorry, sir, no dogs allowed." To which the man replies, "This is my seeing eye dog." The bartender says, "My apologies, drinks on me," and serves him a beer. A few minutes later, his friend walks in. "Sorry, sir, no dogs allowed." The guy says, "This is a seeing eye dog." The bartender says, "Sir, you have a chihuahua." To which the man replies, "They gave me a chihuahua?"
A guy walks into a bar. He has a penguin with him. Bartender says, "What in the world are you doing with that penguin?"
Guy says, "Well, that's a good question. He showed up on my doorstep this morning. To tell you the truth, I'm not sure what in the world I should do with this penguin."
The bartender says, "Well, maybe you should take him to the zoo."
Guy says, "You're right. I don't know why I didn't think of that." Next day, the same guy shows up again. Penguin still in tow.
Bartender says, "Hey, I thought you were going to take that penguin to the zoo."
Guy says, "Yeah, that was a great suggestion. We both had a great time. Today we're going to the movies."
So a man comes into a bar. Wait, I screwed that up. It's supposed to be a horse. So a man comes into a horse.
A man walks into a pub and orders a bowl of the house chili. The bar wench points down the bar to another man with a bowl of chili in front of him and says, "That man there got the last bowl of the night." The first man walks up to the second man and asks, "Hey man, if you're not going to eat that, can I buy it off you?" The second man replies, "You can have it, free of charge." The first man digs in with gusto. About halfway through the bowl of chili, his spoon hits a dead mouse, completely soaked in the sauce but still recognizable. He vomits that chili back into the bowl. Immediately after that, the second man coughs and says, "That's about as far as I got too." A nun in full habit walks into a bar. Then a drunk man approaches her, takes a long look, then doubles up and punches her in the gut. Bent over gasping, the man takes advantage of the situation by knocking the nun to the ground where she passes out. Stumbling away, the drunk man mumbles, "That Batman ain't so tough."
So a dog walks into a bar and asks the bartender to tell him a joke. The bartender says, "No, because you don't get human jokes." The dog says sarcastically, "Oh right, that's because humans are so intelligent and dogs are so stupid. Come on, tell me a joke." Bartender says, "Okay, knock knock." Dog says, "Oh my God, there's someone at the door." Woof woof woof.
Mike stumbles into a bar at noon looking like hell. The bartender says, "What happened to you? You looked fine when you left here last night."
Mike says, "Well, it's the damnedest thing. I was pretty drunk, so I decided to walk home and sober up. On my way, I had to cross the railroad tracks, and just like one of them old silent movies, there was a girl tied to the track."
"Wow," says the bartender. "What did you do?"
What would anyone do? I freed her and took her home with me. And let me tell you, Harry, I banged her. On the stairs, in the bathtub, on the kitchen table, on the foyer rug. I didn't get to sleep until 8 o'clock this morning. That's why I look so ragged."
The bartender whistled. "Woo! She must have been gorgeous."
Mike paused thoughtfully. "I don't know. I never did find her head."